In family trees, the people are the branches. But what are the leaves that fall off the tree and decay? Hopefully, those are the old ideas, the sins of the past. My Aunt Frances painted this family tree. Those are her children, my cousins, and these are my siblings and I. For a tree to survive, it has to let those old leaves fall so new ones can grow. As a child, I was sheltered from a lot of the unpleasantness surrounding the way my grandfather felt about my cousins. But we're all adults now. Time for an adult conversation.
Amateurs though we are, what we are trying to do is honor our parents as part of their celebration of their 65th wedding anniversary. John Green and Thelma Ruby were married April the 23rd, 1923. And we, their daughters, want to stroll down memory lane with the honorees. I am Ruby Francis.
And I'm Martha Rebay.
And the son, John Paul. To date, there are 10 grandchildren, most of whom will join this celebration by contributing to this film.
Francis painted this, right?
Yeah, that's the counselor, the modern day Jesus.
That one's Mama's.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's one of her masterpieces.
She went to college at the University of Maryland to be a teacher, an art teacher. She met Bill because she was there at the college, and I think she was working in the cafeteria or whatever, something along that line. Mm-hmm. And he was a cook, and that's how they met. So I think when she came home to visit, the subject obviously came up. Frances got pregnant with Geneva. She went back to school, and we got a phone call from her telling Mom that she was going to marry Bill. I was downstairs, and I heard Mom just bawling at the top of her voice. I never heard her say much of anything about it after that, but I remember that loud bawling, sobbing. But Dad reacted, obviously, as far as he was concerned, she was dead. We'll never have her here again, we'll never see her again. She's gone.
I think my mother gave me up. I know she did. So I was separated, but not for long.
What do you mean she gave you up? Mm-hmm. What do you mean? I don't know what that means.
At birth.
Really?
She went to St. Anne's, which was a home for unwed mothers.
Okay.
She had me, and I think she was going to give me up for adoption. My father and his mother convinced her to let them raise me. She was sent away for psychoanalysis by her dad. Why in the world would you have a relationship with a black man? You must be crazy. John Green's friend, who was a psychiatrist or whatever, had multiple sessions with her and decided she wasn't crazy and wouldn't see her anymore. And that's when my mother came back into the picture. I have always had such a sense of abandonment. It's very strong. I expect people not to be there. I have severe trust issues, paranoia. I'm not saying I have abandonment issues, but I wonder if that's part of what goes on.
Rock-a-bye, baby, the moon is your cradle, silver white cradle hung up in the sky. The clouds are your pillow, so soft and so downy. Rock-a-bye.
But what was your relationship like with Grandma and Grandpa?
I had none.
None whatsoever.
No. None with him. Now, when I look back at some of the pictures, and I've been looking at some of them, the first time we spent any time with him, them.
We're driving through Greenbelt Park. One section of the park has a campground. When your dad used to come visit sometime, first couple times, that's what they did, is they camped here in Greenbelt Park.
They met Uncle John and us, so he did come.
Oh, that was different because that wasn't home. You know, we could all be in a campground, but see, that campground was probably the campground that we, as a family, stayed at.
Oh, okay.
And Mom and Dad were close by and came to visit us, as did Frances and her kids, and I don't think Bill did. He was not unkind to him.
Okay.
He just didn't want them in his house, and because after all, he was the Salvation Army officer, and he didn't want to be known in his community as someone who had black children.
Well, Grandma and Grandpa, do you recall who those children are? Of course, that's Wendy and Debbie. And where would the children be without the possibility of Grandma and Grandpa coming to help take care of them?
When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
But I also expect certain people to rise above that. You know, how can you talk about the Bible and being a good person, a good Christian, and yet see another human being as less than a human?
All of this during the '68 riot, torched.
Really?
Right after Martin Luther King, they were announcing that he was murdered, assassinated. She and I were in the car, and there was a mob coming down the street. They had sticks and bricks, and they were looking for anybody white. And they were approaching the car to come after her. And I got up and was looking, and they were like, "Oh, don't do that. It's a black kid in the car." And it was the first time I acknowledged as a black kid that it made me feel good, because it kept her from getting beat.
These pictures are from that summer when Mom took us around the country. And the truth of what happened, we found out years and years later, was that she was actually trying to decide whether to leave Daddy. I believe that she was looking for a place to settle with her children.
Right.
And didn't find a place.
Wow.
And he didn't welcome her. So this might be the earliest picture I have of her, but you see, she let me hold her hand.
Oh, yeah.
No, but that was a big deal. And it's simple little things like that. But where was Grandpa? Who knows where they...
Right, exactly.
Who knows?
In high school, he called. Hello? Hey, how you doing? Hey, is this Grandpa? He's like, yeah, it's me. He says, is your mother home? I'm like, yeah, she's here. How you doing? I'm fine. Is your mother home? I'm like, yeah, she's upstairs. How's Grandma? How's things going? She's fine. Everything's good. I'd like to speak to your mother.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay. And at that point, it was clear that he didn't want to speak to me. I was hurt, but I was also mad. And I said, yeah, you can talk to her as soon as you call back. I had a different feeling when it came to Grandma. She would call to speak to Mom, and she would talk as long as he wasn't in the room or around. How are you doing, hon? I heard things are going good at school, or you playing football. You enjoying that? I heard you got hurt. You okay? And and that happened several times. And I really, enjoyed talking to her. But I knew immediately when he would be approaching or coming into the room, well, I guess I better go. Can you get your mom put on the phone? And it took a while until I got older to understand what was going on. In that space and time, here came all of these 4th of July family reunions, and she would leave to go to them, and we were left at home. Later to understand that he really didn't want us there.
I think it was a heart attack or something. And he died on the table. They were trying to revive him, and he had an out-of-body experience. And this is my mother telling me the story. So he rose from his body and could look down into the room and see them trying to bring him back. And he went somewhere.
Okay.
And he was told that he could not come yet. You have to go back and make it right with Francis. Until that time, he wouldn't have anything to do with us. He would talk to Mom, but he wouldn't talk to the rest of us. He and Grandma Churchill came to our house in New Carrollton and had dinner with us in our house. That was huge. And my father was so nervous and so excited. He made a beautiful dinner for me. He made it extra special and sat down at the same table with John Green. On the 65th wedding anniversary, Mom told us about this anniversary party. We were all coming, everyone except my father.
That's Chris, of course, but favorite people, Uncle Bill, helping to take care of him one day. And of course, Uncle Bill says happy anniversary as well.
We were packed and ready to go. And Mom came and told us we couldn't come. And we were like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand. Why? And she said because her brother and sister, Reve and John, are concerned about their dad's health. He's fragile, and they didn't want to upset him by having us come there. Okay, so think about this for a minute. Her brother and sister, both of whom have come to our homes, have brought their children over, interacted with us, knew that we were coming, and that they go to their sister and tell her, don't bring your children. Then she tells us this, and she goes anyway. We all have trouble understanding how she could do that. And then we get very emotional about how could she do that? Why would she do that? And then when I look at the pictures of her in the group, and you guys are there, and she's there, what could be going on in her mind? It never occurred to me to ask her about it, I was completely heartbroken.
Happy 65th anniversary!
Yeah, we're heartbroken, disappointed, angry, all of that. But we respect our mother. She went. I wrote a poem. I'm not a poet. Reminiscence. The beautiful moments in our lives can always be relived in the way we share those memories, in the way we give. For the greatest pleasures in life are from enjoying the little things that were sent from above where God and the angels sing. And I remember asking Mom, well, did they like the poem? And it was almost like she was like, oh, I'm sure they did, or something. So I don't know if they ever saw it, or if they put any weight to it, or value.
More recently, people have tried to tell me that he tried to change his ways or tried to make amends. But I didn't get that because I never heard anything from him. Nothing. Just that whole thing had an effect on me. So later, when he passed, I felt nothing. Because I felt I didn't have a grandfather. What I felt was pain for my mother, because she asked if I would be willing to come. She said she would like me to come, and I wanted to be there for her, but I couldn't. There was just a part in me that was like, I can't go, because one, I don't feel it. Two, I feel like it would be hypocritical of me to go, because I didn't feel like he loved me. I don't think he even cared about me really.
But you have a picture of Grandma and Grandpa.
It's there more for Grandma.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Life is long and life is short. There we are, digging holes in the sand with Aunt Frances. And here we are, digging Frances' grave.